guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Sarah, and for today's video, I'm really excited because I'm going to be talking about the missions trip that I went on like 2 weeks ago, and I've been wanting to talk about it for so long, but I was just waiting for the right time until I had all the good news to share and just had time to do it. So I'm very excited to tell you guys about it, and let's get into the video. So if you guys didn't know, I announced it on my Instagram, so here's my Instagram if you want to go follow it. But I went to Africa, specifically Zambia and Malawi, for a missions trip for like 3.5 weeks. It was like end of July through middle of August, and I was just so blessed to be able to go on that trip. My college, Point Loma Nazarene University, offers a program called LoveWorks, and they send students on missions trips every summer. They've been doing it for a long time, and I was blessed to be able to go on one with my incredible team of, there was me and then 5 other girls, and then our 3 leaders, 1 professor, his wife, and then actually the founder of LoveWorks. On this trip, we couldn't have our phone for 3.5 weeks, which honestly was also another like big learning moment. I just feel like I learned a lot from not being able to have my phone, and it allowed me to learn a lot about myself, a lot about my brain, and just about who I am, because I could never distract myself by just scrolling with empty thoughts looking at social media, you know? So it's like you're always thinking thoughts that like are of substance. Started off in Zambia. We actually had no plan. Like, we weren't told what we were gonna be doing there, because the whole point of it is to just go like open arms and just like let God work, and to not have like any expectations, which I think helps a lot, because going into things without expectations, I don't know, I just feel like you can be so much more grateful for what occurs, and like you don't have an expectation. So we went to Zambia for about a week and a half. We had an amazing missionary there. Nicholas would drive us over to a school/church every day for a week, and we would work with kids all ages from like 1 year old to 20, I think 5 years old, and they were all in the same school, and the school was like teamed up with a church, and so they had school within the church. We would basically just teach them Bible stories, sing to them, sing with them, dance with them, do crafts with them, soccer, all these games. They are the most full of joy little humans I have ever met in my entire life, and they know how to just have so much joy purely from Jesus. Like, purely, their joy comes from Jesus, and they rejoice with that joy. Kids walk a long ways to school carrying their younger siblings on their backs. This is super sad. I just want to share this with you so you guys can be like informed of how life is over there. But they carry their siblings on their back to school, because most of their parents like aren't able to take care of their siblings throughout the day, and these kids are just so grateful to have the opportunity to go to school there, and they have the biggest smiles when they show up to school. They're ready to learn, the most attentive kids I have met in my whole life. I will tell a whole Bible story and they will be able to tell it back to me word for word. They just want to learn. They're so present. They are just angels. They have so much they can teach us, and the way that they live out their life. Like, they're like 6 years old and they just know more about life and like the meaning, the true purpose of life than a lot of people in the US. They also just constantly embracing the kids around them, the teachers around them. They show their affection, and just, they don't keep their love to themselves, they spread it. So what we said mainly about our time in Zambia is it was just so much like absorbing the culture and just being immersed in everything. Like, we were at the school from like 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day, just working with kids, working with like the staff there, and then we would go straight to our missionary's house for dinner and like debrief. And she made us these like, oh, like we had such good food, you guys. Like, we had chicken and shima rice, vegetables, like every day. It was like Thanksgiving. We were spoiled. But anyways, that was like our dinner every day. Another really sad thing is their main food is shima, and it's this kind of like mashed potatoes but made out of corn maze. I'll put like a picture here, and they will like stir up big things of this Shima like every day, and like you'll just see these big pots and then people will just be like stirring it up and they'll give you like a big glob. It's actually really good. You like dip it in salt or like beef stew. But this is because a lot of the people there can't afford to have like multiple meals throughout the day, and so they will make this Shima, which is very filling. It will be meant to fill you, like keep you full throughout the next day, which is really sad, and it just shows they are really limited in resources. So yeah, just be praying for more resources and just more like basic necessities to come their way and for them to be blessed by them. But yeah, we did leave a lot of school supplies and just a lot of things for the kids when we left. So just praying for more opportunities to come their way. But yeah, they are so thankful for any little thing, which is the sweetest thing in the world, and it has made me so much more grateful for what I have, and just like, of course, like not taking things for granted anymore. It's really just changed my outlook on like a lot of things. When I got back and I woke up in my bed, like it felt like I was in a mansion. I was like, I do not deserve this. We are so blessed. One day, this was a big like moment in Zambia. We went with some of the kids, some of the people on staff, they're like the pastor. We evangelized, going from house to house, telling the houses about Jesus and just asking if we could pray for them and just sharing about Jesus. And this was one of the most like mind-blowing things, because every single home or person we came across wanted to hear all about Jesus and was so attentive, was all in, even if they didn't believe in Jesus. Like we prayed for them and they were so accepting, and just like most people there are Christians, which is crazy. And I think it says so much about how they have so little in physical things and material things, but they have an abundance of this joy and love and just like community. And I think it says so much because a lot of them are Christians. So I think the openness there to not only just like learning about God, but just community, like they took us in and like we were like, how are they so receiving and just wanting to listen? But we asked the people that we were going with and they were like, no, we do this every week, and most of the time like everyone will listen, everyone will be prayed for, which is just an amazing thing to see and makes me want to be just way more open now being in the US. Because think about all the people that come to our doors and we do not even answer the door. Like we're like, oh no, it's just someone, like I don't know them, I'm not gonna answer. Or just like anyone, if we don't know them, we most likely are not open to speaking with them. And it's just crazy because if you go there, they will like welcome you with open arms, which is so beautiful. Openness was a huge thing that I took away from being in Zambia. Okay, we're past Zambia now. So then we took a 20-hour van ride to Malawi. Where are we going? Lusaka. And Malawi is known as the warm heart of Africa. It was quite the place. Beautiful. It is also one of the poorest countries in the entire world, so that was super eye-opening and just a lot to process. The way they live there, like the teepees they live in with like dirt floors, and just it was a lot of processing. And we were installing Wi-Fi at a college there. It's kind of random, but we did this with like an IT team from the United States, so with a few people that lived in Africa as well. So it was really cool getting to know them as well, and getting to know them with so much time working alongside them and having like deeper conversations. And just we got so bonded to our team here. We had debriefs every single night and we would be crying, we'd be in the living room just talking for hours and just praying together, and it was just some of the most beautiful moments ever. So Malawi was a lot of receiving. We said that in Zambia it was a lot of giving, and then Malawi was a lot of receiving. It was really nice. Also to tell you guys about amenities and just like how different it was. So when we were in Zambia, we stayed at a lodge. They call their hotels like lodges there, and like I feel like all you can be there is grateful, because you see all of this poverty Malawi and just all of these people that are so grateful for the little that they have. And so it's hard to complain there. Like, we did not complain, which was such a gift. We learned like the power of just uplifting words and just optimism a lot. So yeah, we had a lodge there, and then in Malawi we had this beautiful lodge. It was like this big house. This woman rents out the rooms, and she'd make us these like big dinners every night. And she told us that she did this because she's gone on a missions trip before, and her host like did this for her, and so she did that for us. And she was like our angel. Like, she watched over us. We love her. It was so sweet. So that was the amenities there. And in Zambia we drove around in a bus, and it was really fun. And then in Malawi we drove around in separate cars. They drive on the opposite side of the road there. They are very peaceful there. Like in the US, you know, like everyone's like honk honk, get out, I hate you. In Malawi, like they're like, okay, come along, come on. Like, they're so peaceful. It's awesome. Okay guys, don't worry, I'm like almost done here. This was my notebook. I journaled every single day. It says love works and it works well, because that's the actual meaning of the name Love Works. Like, a lot of people say like just it as one word, because it is one word, Love Works Mission Trips. But we were with the founder of Love Works, and he told us that it means like love works, like it actually works, which is so true. Love does work. But yeah, I filled out this entire thing like talking about our days every day and processing everything. And then at the end I wrote down a lot of takeaways, which I'm really happy that I did. I like wrote them on the plane at the end, because it was a 30-hour plane, or we flew for about 30 hours. So yeah. But watched Harry Potter, did a lot of journaling, a lot of drawing, so it was fine, it was good. Okay, now I'm getting into the application of being home, but I've been journaling every single day being home. I've also started a prayer journal, which I love and I'm gonna keep doing, but I'm also gonna start a prayer jar. I'm gonna write prayers down, and I've realized being gone just the importance of prayer. And I saw a quote actually today, and it was like, Christianity without prayer is like life without breathing. I think writing down prayers and then looking back on them and seeing all the ways like God has answered your prayers, because I feel like he answers our prayers so often but we don't even like realize it. Media. After this trip, putting God at the center of everything, I feel like I've always known that that's an important concept, but I don't think I knew that I should apply that to social media as well, putting God at the center of social media and posting to serve him, which is a big deal. With social media becoming so big, I was like, I'm gonna come back and be like, oh, I don't want to do social media anymore. I've always just loved putting my creativity into social media, and I don't want to give that up, so I've chosen to put God at the center of it, which has given me so much hope with social media, which I have not had. Social media has been not a like safe place for me to go on, and not like an uplifting place, but now that I've really put God at the center of it and what I'm doing to serve God on social media at the center of it, it's an uplifting place for me to be on. These are just some thoughts and some takeaways you could think about. Sorry guys, there's so much. I've been starting Bible in a Year, and if you want to join me, please go on my Instagram, and I made a broadcast channel, which I've never done before, but I really felt it on my heart to start Bible in a Year, and I am obsessed. So if you want to join me, go check out my broadcast channel. I'm new to this too, and it's brought me so much closer to God. So that's that. This trip did wonders for giving me a new perspective of life. This is one of my last points, but being there, I was worried that it would come across as though I have pity for the people there, because I never ever wanted them to see me as like, oh, like I'm looking down. I wanted them to see me as like, we are not so different, we are the same, you know? And so a big thing we learned is just to have compassion, to not be pitying, but to be feeling with them, and to just be feeling their joy, feeling their struggles. And so just like with the kids, you know, like sitting down with them, hugging them, just being with them, like truly just being connected, praying for them. I feel like compassion was a big part of our trip as well, and they honestly were so grateful for us being there. I was worried that they were gonna be like, oh, these people from the US, like they just want to be like, oh, we're great people, we're on a missions trip. But like they really like expressed how grateful they were for just our presence. And I think that's another thing, is we realized that like we literally just needed to show up. If we say yes, like God will use our yes for good. And so us just being present is like all we needed to do. I think I have to be done. If you guys want a part 2, let me know. If you take anything from this, you should go on a missions trip if you have like an opportunity to. And if you go on one, you should not bring your phone. That's what I would say. And I know like you will not come out the same person. If you go on a missions trip for a few weeks, like you will be changed for the better. My outlook on life has changed drastically, and you know, I've been talking for 8 years. I think you can tell. But I love you guys so much, and please, my DMs are open if you need prayer, if you need advice, if you, I don't know, want advice on missions trips, want advice on your relationship with God, want advice on body image, eating disorders, all of that stuff. If you need anything, my DMs are open. I'm here. I believe in you. God believes in you. And yeah, I love you guys. Bye.